race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stretch the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand or 10,000 Kenyan shillings or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Make sure you pick up my two books that's in Amazon right now. The first one is Passive-Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy. And I talk about in that particular book how the system of white supremacy really runs and on our daily lives here in America. In our latest book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we go through those steps to try to deprogram you from the system of white supremacy. Make sure you can pick up those books on Amazon.com.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are here. It is October 25, and y'all, next week will be November. Wow, man, that time is flying by already. Those of you who are going to Ethiopia, let me talk to y'all for a minute. Hope you're getting ready for that. That won't be too long. Just make sure, just a reminder, there's a couple of people, just keep up with your payments and all that, just a reminder. Some people, always hit me later. Can we go on the trip? We're not even advertising that no more. Say, but hey, could we? I'm like, well, if you are ready to pay for it in full, and then you don't have no payments, but after the fact that, the payment window's kind of where it's at. So appreciate all y'all. Yes, class is in session. Tonight we're going to have someone come by a few minutes before we get started, talking about Stacey Abrams. One sister's gonna come by because she is actually facing eviction, and she has a medical issue going on as well. And we don't see these how the Democrats prioritize the migrants and making sure they're in shelters and hotels and how they get to eat for free. And the migrants are living good, but Black Americans not so much. So we'll be talking to somebody here in a few minutes. Before Kellen say finish paying for Ethiopia, and before we get go to that, let me just make sure I can check my screen because it'll be a few minutes here. Give me a quick second. Not yet. Okay. So I want to ask y'all a question real quick. I'm watching my time, is that like, so remember I came to y'all last time and I was saying, what would y'all like me to do? Right. So I was making like short form content. And what I mean by that is like just the regular news reports. And then I asked, do y'all want me to live stream? Do y'all like that? Then the people say, yeah, live stream. So I started live streaming. That's why I switched from doing like the reports to live streaming. And people say they like the live streaming. Some people, may like the shorter reports at times, right? Now, the Emancipation Media Channel, I don't do the live streaming over there. It's kind of like how I used to do here. There's a lot of, just news reports. But what do y'all like? Y'all like the live stream? Y'all like a little mix? Just trying to find that out. Also, just some other questions I like to ask y'all real quick is that we want to start bringing in other people doing other topics, right? Not political, but I mean, like, we need to bring in somebody like health. If there's a doctor out there in the building, right? A doctor in the building who's, has charisma. Because it can't be just a doctor just reading off a teleprompter and have no charisma, because then you get boring, right? But if you're a doctor or somewhere like that, and you always say, I like to come in once or twice a week, and share break bread with the people about some health. Yeah, let's talk. Hey, I got a LinkedIn out there, and hey, you're a doctor, brother, sister, yeah, you want to do that? Let us know. Also, who are we missing? It's a lot of other topics, that, and throw some topics out there to me. You say, hey, y'all, we'd like y'all to cover these topics, right? And just something different that we're not doing, or maybe not covering, or maybe we used to cover, we don't anymore. Throw it out there, because the political content is, we got that on lock. That's too easy, right? So we want to draw in new audiences, because maybe some people don't want to hear political content, but maybe they want to hear about health and wellness. Maybe they want to hear about I don't know, finance or something. Maybe they want to, somebody say, yeah, man, bring a cooking show on the channel or something. Let somebody do some cooking or whatever. Show us how to cook. I'm just throwing ideas out there, because I'm not trying to just morph this just into politics. But I like to bring it where everybody can actually come in and enjoy it, throughout the community. Also, those of you in the diaspora, one complaint I received is that, hey, man, you don't have no West Africans on the show. Okay, I'm hearing that, because I know they say you got East Africans, you got Southern Africans, but where's the West Africans? So I gotta fill that request too, right? But yeah, let me know. Just let me know in the chat. Y'all like live stream. You say auto mechanics. You say vegan cooking. You say some vegan cooking. Okay, all right. Let me check my stream here. Hold on real quick. Got to check something. Okay, my guest isn't there as of yet. Kellen, if you're in there, check on the guest. Make sure that they click the link, because we gotta finish the restaurant. Say so y'all like a vegan chef to come in and show y'all like some cooking, like some sort of like vegan cooking deal. Y'all like that? Like to learn some recipes, like on AD&C? Is that something y'all interested in? Okay, let me write that down. Hold on, I'm gonna write that down. I'm getting some ideas from y'all. Y'all say a vegan, okay, vegan chef, and what else? You say you calling? Okay, y'all say auto mechanics. That's a new one. Okay, auto mechanics sound good. Yeah, okay. Auto mechanics. You talking about stocks and crypto, like financial? Okay, stocks and crypto. I'm funny about crypto on YouTube, but stocks, crypto. Something like CNBC. So somebody that's good in that. Okay, all right. Traveling. We do have a travel channel, and already. And I gotta have to do a different strategy with that, so I can actually get people already in these different countries already and show y'all their countries or whatever. So, because I can't be everywhere at the same time, but maybe other people could say, hey, I'm in, because the travel channel could be, hey, let me show you the beauty of Chicago. Let me show you Kingston, Jamaica. Let me show you, Barbados or something like that, right? And you can get different people to do that just within those countries itself. So that's something else I thought about, so we can get the Travel Channel going on top of, when I go places. So we're thinking about it. All right, you say new law. Okay, all right. I'm taking all this stuff down. What y'all saying? I'm taking it down, and then I have somebody that wrote me something I wanted to share with y'all. But let me see here. Okay. You say reschedule. Okay, no problem. All right, so let me get to the main subject matter. Let me change the screen. Let me change the screen real quick. Boom! The propaganda is so bad that Stacey Abrams said something. Now, why are we going to talk about Stacey Abrams? Why are we going to talk about her? It's very interesting. I'm not going to do. Let me get it started. I'm not going to do the devotion tonight because I kind of talked a little bit over that time. So Stacey Abrams was recently on CNN, okay? And, they've been having a steady drumbeat about black men, okay? And it's really racial propaganda at this point. It's targeted racial propaganda because they know white men and Latino men are not supporting Vice President Kamala Harris. But yet they keep beating the drumbeat about these black men. Oh, these black men. Oh, they sexist. Oh, they misogynist. Oh, my God, they don't want a woman. I mean, they just keep on over and over and over, but they don't tell Latino men a freaking thing. CNN will not even speak on Latino men. They won't even speak on white men in particular. Matter of fact, I was looking at Google before I started this tonight, and I just typed in Asian men Kamala Harris. And there was only one article talking about some event that they were doing in San Francisco for Asians to support Kamala. Only one article. I typed in Hispanic men Kamala Harris. I didn't see no criticisms of Hispanic men at all. Only, and I'll show you the articles I saw of them. White men, no criticism. Other than, they just not voting for her, but no criticism, no talking down or calling white men a name. But black men is all over the place. So we got to talk about the racial propaganda that's happening right now. It is anti-black racism. It's also misandry. And misandry is really targeted toward black men. But let's go ahead and cue up y'all homegirl Stacey Abrams real quick, and then we're going to get into it.
Numbers continuing to grow. All right. So Eva McKend was there, and she spoke to Georgia pastor Jamal Bryant after Harris visited his church this weekend. She interviewed him. Let me just play one exchange.
You said something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister.
Yeah. Full stop. Misogyny is still real in our community. We've got to address it head on and not act like it doesn't exist. The reality is if black men had voted, Stacey Abrams would be a governor.
Okay. I know this is a layered onion here, Stacey, but do you agree that black men who are not voting for Harris and who didn't vote for you, as the pastor sees it, are misogynist? As he said, misogyny is still real in our community.
I would say, number one, I know it's a shock to everyone, but sexism remains real and a very pertinent issue. But I want us to be really clear that Kamala Harris is doing very well with black men. Black men are the second strongest cohort of Democratic voters. What we're seeing, though, is that she is showing them due respect by actually speaking to their issues. And those issues differ from other cohorts. I'm not quite certain why there is this panic about black men voting. They vote. In fact, they vote more than their counterparts in any other community for Democrats. However, we do have to acknowledge that there is sexism, there is racism, there are challenges in our electorate, and that's why it's so important that Kamala Harris is going everywhere and talking to everyone. She respects voters, she meets them where they are, and she refuses to be told that she has lost a cohort, lost a community, simply because she's different. The best candidates recognize that you win by meeting people where they are, and Kamala Harris is doing that every single day, and we'll keep doing it for the next 14 days until we get to Election Day.
All right. So let me point. I'm gonna point out some things. So let me start where I would like to start here. Not this silly fool here. We covered him the other day. All right. So let's start right. Let me see. Hold on. Forward a little bit. All right. Let's start it over.
I know this is a layered onion here, Stacey, but do you agree that black men who are not voting for Harris and who didn't vote for you, as the pastor sees it, are misogynist? As he said, misogyny is still real in our community.
First of all, Aaron Burnett, let me start off with you before I even go and talk about Stacey Abrams, okay? Why do you care about what black men are doing? Why don't you care about what white men are doing, ma'am? That's what you need to care about, what white men are doing. White men have a lot of issues that you need to cover on CNN that you need to talk about. Why every night on y'all network it's black men, black men, black men, black men? Aaron, you don't go home to no black man. You don't interact with black people like that. So why do you care? See, Aaron, when you talk about it, it's almost we know there's a propaganda happening. It's a propaganda at this point, and a racialized propaganda. It's racial. Because it's saying, how dare you black men? How dare you do anything outside of what we talked about last night, the default setting for black people? You don't do anything that we didn't give you permission to do. Did we give you permission to vote outside of Democrat? Did we give you permission to think for yourself? Did we give you permission to label yourself other names? That's a problem, because we didn't give you permission. And we know that y'all enact the Willie Lynch letter on the black people every day. If you really want to understand racism, white supremacy, all you got to do is read the Willie Lynch letter. It maps them out to a T. To divide the young and the old, to divide the male and the female. They keep that going. That's why they're saying all these black men. They know good and well there's black women too. There's black women every day coming out and say, I'm not voting for that lady. Some of them don't want to vote for her because they just don't trust her. They don't like her politics. They just don't feel it like that. Some don't feel disrespected because of the cosplaying. Then I've heard one, I think today, I'll listen to her on the radio. One black woman call in and say, I'm not voting for her because she's a woman. Oh, and there was a black woman said it. I ain't voting for no woman. She said it. He said, because I don't trust her with the world leaders like that. They not going to respect her. They're going to run over her, and I don't trust her. And so you got women saying that too. So you're going to call those women misandrist? Because you can't do that. See, there's a lot of women talking like that. But no. The Democrats say, listen, we know the black women is actually doing bad against us too, but we still got to hold them a little. We can use emotion to hold them a little bit, but we got to divide them. You have to understand the strategy is to keep black men and women divided. By all means, do not have us unified. Because when black men and women unify, things get done. That's why I'm not for that gender politics crap. I'm not. Black men and women have fought together. They have died together, literally. They have bled together. They've been blown up together. They've been water hosed together. They have, were enslaved together, on trees together, experimented on. Any evil that's been done to the black people who is a freedman, it's been done to the men and the women. Period. The experimentation on black women is the reason why you got modern day gynecology. They've experimented on black men. They've done gross things to black men and women. Nobody will escape it. So we always going to be tied at the hip, and you can't separate us. Even politically, you can't. Now, of course, you can separate the boo-boo, the fools. Of course you can. But we talking about the rank and file black man and the rank and file black woman. We aren't divided like that. Much of even with social media, and they try to say, oh, they this is gender warring on social media. Listen, what Dave Chappelle said a long time ago is true. Social media isn't real. It isn't real life. When I see black women in the street they say, hey, good morning or whatever like that. You brothers see them. I see brothers holding the door open for black women. I don't see brothers acting a fool or talking like they talk online. I don't see any of that. And I'm telling you from experience, a lot of people that talk crazy online would not say 2 words to you in the street. They're bold when they're in their house, or they bold with nobody can get to them, and they'll talk crazy. And no, when they get in the street like, oh man, I'm just playing. So no, we are not divided like that. But Erin need to worry about the men in her community. Why the men in her community is not voting for Kamala Harris? That should be the story. Why so many white men won't support her? That's the question. That is the major question. But let's continue.
I would say, number one, I know it's a shock to everyone, but sexism remains real and a very pertinent issue. But I want us to be really clear that Kamala Harris is doing very well with black men. Black men are the second strongest cohort of Democratic voters. What we're seeing, though, is that she is showing them due respect by actually speaking to their issues. And those issues differ from other cohorts. I'm not quite certain why there is this panic about black men voting. They vote. In fact, they vote more than their counterparts in any other community for Democrats.
Now, what Stacey said, I'm pretty sure Erin didn't like that, because Stacey was actually telling the truth. Stacey Abrams told the truth. Okay? If you look at the numbers, black men have voted for Democrats, even though the numbers are trending down. Black men still vote for Democrats way more than white men do, way more than Hispanic men do. That's the truth. The panic they're having is, wait a minute, it's a collective of them doing it now. It's a collective, and they're being vocal about their disdain for the Democrat Party. And this is the thing. They're freaking out because when we talk, our voice travels. Other groups of people talking, okay, you hear them, but you don't hear them. But when black people talk, when they say, I'm not going to do this, hey, I'm not going to be a part of this party, hey, I'm not, listen, when we move anywhere, people move with us, because let's call it what it is. We are the cool people. The reason why some people are in the Democrat Party, because we're there. Anywhere we're at, we make that place hot, right? It's just bottom line. No matter where we go, we are the salt of the earth. Take us away, and then you have them. And you know they ain't got no salt to them. They're bland. So if more and more black people say, hey, this is not the place for me, I'm moving away from there, I'm coming to the political middle, I'm not going to no Republicans either, I'm going straight to the middle, and that's why I'm staying. Now you got to fight for my vote. That's going to inspire other people who are not black. Listen to me. This is bigger than black men and black people. You're going to inspire other people who are not black to follow your lead. Do you know, black man and woman of America, you are a leader, whether you realize it or not? You are a leader. No matter what they tell you, no matter what your economic condition is, and that's not a natural condition, that is a sabotage condition. No matter what your condition is, you're still a leader. All the money and all the power that they have, they still cannot outdo your collective voice. They have all kind of media outlets. They could carpet bomb. They got anything they can to use propaganda. And how is it that people who is deemed insignificant is actually battling and actually winning against the multi-billion-dollar mainstream conglomerate? In a lot of instances, it is the mouthpiece. It is the fourth estate, right? Who's being funded by the government. And they're taking a lot of their cues from what? The insignificant. But what did the scriptures teach? Ladies and gentlemen, what did the scriptures teach? That God will use the foolishness of preaching. And we preach over here. And there's many other brothers and sisters out here preaching to y'all. They preaching the truth. And they don't understand how them insignificant people that didn't go to Harvard, didn't go to Yale, didn't go to Brown. They have no political connections. They in some little YouTube channel, Instagram, X-Space, some app somewhere, some website. How is it that people are listening to them and they're not listening to us anymore? What is that? And they have admitted on CNN they're not listening to us. All them big, beautiful studios that people like myself would love to have, all them big, beautiful studios, and you got staff all over the place. And, oh, man, it's a work of art to see when you go into those studios, right? And yet with all that fanfare, all the makeup, all the staff, nobody's listening to you. And y'all gotta think about it. That gotta be frustrating to them because they have always been the pinnacle of who everybody's gonna listen to. Not some guy on the internet, not some lady on the internet. So the Democrats are nervous that this is gonna turn into an avalanche of people walking away from the Democrat Party. Not just black people. It's gonna start off with black people, but it's gonna be whites it's gonna follow. It's going to be Hispanics. It's going to be Asians. Muslims are out there talking against them too, but the Muslims don't have a voice. I told you before, we're the one to have a voice. This is why we're demonized if we don't use our voice for other groups. Think about that. No matter what the issue is, why you black people won't say nothing about this issue? Why you black people in unison won't talk about Palestine? Why you black people in unison won't talk about this issue and that issue? Why won't y'all say nothing? Why? They saying something every day. They're protesting about Palestine every day. But their voice is just chatter, but ours is a roaring lion. And they want the roaring lion to be speaking for their issues. All of them. Remember Michael Rappaport? He was telling black Americans, hey, y'all not saying nothing. What is it? Why is Michael Rappaport, he has a platform. Why is he worried about black Americans saying anything? Because Michael Rappaport know that we have the voice of a lion and that voice carries. Listen, I've seen a lion up close. And listen, TV don't do that thing justice at all. Even a female lion, TV don't do it justice. Them things are so huge. And I mean, they paws it's crazy to see that. But we have that voice and that power of a lion. That's who we are. That's why they want us to speak for everybody. So we can't be in unison roaring like that about the Democrats. That's fearful for them. We gonna mess everything up. Now Timothy says elections drain me. Be glad when this is over. Trump. I will be glad when this is over too, Timothy, because I'm gonna say, Timothy, this election. It hasn't been all the elections. No, I can't say that. It's been this election. Something different with this election versus the other one. Look, Trump ran before. Trump and Hillary wasn't draining like this, and they had drama. Trump and Biden, they ran, and it was in the midst of George Floyd, and that wasn't draining. This has been draining. I don't know what it is with this situation. I don't know, but I'm kind of like you. I want to see what the conclusion is of this, and then I want to see what happens after this. I told y'all, if y'all put her in office, I ain't got nothing to say about it. Because I'm going to say this, whatever she do, and I'm going to repeat this, whatever she do, and y'all complaining about it, the only thing I'm going to say is that's what y'all voted for. That's what y'all wanted. So don't complain on her now. If Trump get in office, I'm going to talk about the crashing out. Oh, yes. Yes, I will talk about the crashing out because the crashing out is going to be epic. I already know. It will be epic, okay? But when it comes to us, they gotta have black people. Listen, the Democrats want to control our voice, right? They want to say, hey, you only speak for us. You don't speak for yourself. You speak for us. You advocate for us. You come out every couple of years, you black celebrities, and speak up for us, get them on the Democrat, voting train, and that's that, okay? You say you saw a tiger at the St. Louis Zoo? Okay. I never seen a tiger up close, but I definitely seen a lion. All right, let's continue.
However, we do have to acknowledge that there is sexism, there is racism, there are challenges in our electorate, and that's why it's so important that Kamala Harris is going everywhere and talking to everyone. She respects voters, she meets them where they are, and she refuses to be told that she has lost a cohort, lost a community, simply because she's different. The best candidates recognize that you win by meeting people where they are, and Kamala Harris is doing that every single day, and will keep doing it for the next 14 days until we get to Election Day.
All right, so now she had to throw in there the sexism part, right? That's not the issue people have with Kamala Harris. It's not about her being a woman. The fact is, real talk, she comes across as phony. That's what it is. You look at Trump, good, bad, in the middle, don't matter. He lets you know who he is. He's pretty loud about it. Most people are not unsure about him. With her, you're unsure. Because I told you she plays and I've seen this before, people like her, whoever she get in front of, that's what she's trying to please at the time. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen it with people like her with those backgrounds. When they have, when they're not secure in themselves, you have people that is quote unquote, biracial, and I say that with air quotes. When they're not secure in themselves, they think they're going to morph themselves into whoever they're in front of instead of just being secure in who they are. And I'm not saying all quote unquote biracial people are that way, because they got some biracial people. And I'm saying that because that's not really an official term for people. But people that know who they are, confident in who they are, they don't act like her. But the ones that don't, well, I'm going to act like this day. Well, I'm going to talk this way. And whatever people pleasing, right? And that's what she likes to do. People pleasing is phony. People can see through you when you're people pleasing. Just stand on what you say and people going to respect it. They disagree, but at least they got to respect it when it comes to her. Now, let me show you some news stories real quick about Latino men. Just give me a second. And why isn't this, and put this up on the screen. Oh, wrong one. I think it's the wrong one. Hold on. I think it's the wrong one. Right one. Let me remove this one out the way here. Boom. Dems see warning signs for Harris with Latino men in Pennsylvania. Okay? So the Democrats know they have a Latino man problem. And yet they're not on CNN bringing on Latina politicians and saying Latino men is misogynist, they're sexist, they just don't want a woman. And, just to go into this a little bit, say Latino political and business leaders in Pennsylvania have probably warned the Kamala Harris campaign that it's not doing enough to engage Latino voters and elected officials in the state, imperiling her chances of defeating Donald Trump here. Okay? It said at a recent reception in Philadelphia, multiple Latino leaders approached Harris staffers and campaign allies privately to deliver versions of that admonition, according to two people who attended the event and were granted anonymity. I hate that word sometimes. I always mess that word up. I like saying anonymous more so than anything, to describe private conversations. It said, and interviews with a dozen Latino Democratic elected officials and strategists in a key swing state reveal ongoing fears that Latino men in particular aren't on board with Harris. And this is the interesting part. Her administration's done a lot for Latinos. They have. They let a lot of migrants in here, and most of these migrants are Latinos. And yet they not feeling her like that, right? Let's go to another article. In a razor close Nevada, Latino men shy away from Kamala Harris. So not only does she have a black men problem, because Stacey Abrams says she don't. Oh, yes, she do. So not only does she have a black men problem, she has a Latino men problem. And that's in Nevada, okay? And then you have Harris losing ground with young Latino men. So this keeps coming up about her and Latino men. Vice President Harris losing support among young Latino men, even as she continues to hold a lead over Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump among Latino voters in Nevada and Arizona. Now, they said 2 key states that will help determine the 2024 election. More than half, 57% of Latino voters in Arizona said they plan to vote for or lean toward Harris, while 38 said they lean toward Trump, according to a poll of statewide 500 likely Hispanic voters. It said Harris also leads Trump among Latino voters in Nevada, 56-40. It said the statewide poll of 500 likely Hispanic voters found, but both polls were conducted in English and Spanish between the 27th and October 2nd. That was kind of early. Talking about the margin of error is 4.4%. Now, they say Harris and Trump are locked in a razor-thin election where it comes down to a handful of key states. And they've been saying that. Listen, let me tell you something else about that. So she has a Latino problem, and she has a white man problem, too. Let me get it back on camera. She has a white man problem, too. So black men, white men, Latino men, a lot of them not feeling her. They're not. Then what she's recently started to do is she's mashing the gas hard now about abortion. And people were discussing that, today. A couple of people were discussing that in the barbershop today. And a lot of men are so turned off by that conversation. Do you realize that a lot of men aren't out here, even though men got to pay child support, right? Now, Mike C. says the Democrats are done to feel the FBA community is done with the benign neglect and disrespect. I agree. Even though men are put on child support, most men aren't out here saying, yeah, we need to make it legal or make it easy for women to use abortion like birth control. Because that's really what that is. When I did my research on abortion, when it comes to, women being violated, by a man, they say 1 to up to 2%, at the most 2% of the abortions are because of that reason. The other 98, I think it was 1% medical necessity. And after that, convenience. So basically 3% of all abortions are rape, incest, or medical necessity. The rest of them, convenience. Well, I just don't feel like having a kid right now. Convenience. But okay, if you didn't want to have a kid right now, well, there's many forms of birth control. There's still got Plan B out there. There's still condoms out there. There's a whole lot of things you could use to prevent that from happening. But that is what it is. So Kamala Harris, according to the polls, she's like 21 points ahead of Trump when it comes to that issue. And they'll say like 10 points ahead when it comes to democracy. But when it comes to the economy, immigration, and foreign policy, that's all Trump. And let me tell you something. The economy is what is more important than a woman having access to terminate a pregnancy. Because listen, if my wife had got, had a pregnant, she probably wouldn't at this stage in the game. But if my wife became pregnant, that wouldn't even be anything for me. Because when my wife was pregnant with my little girl, I was happy about it, very happy, and couldn't wait till she got here, right? And plenty of men feel that way. Hey, okay, I'm going to have a baby? Okay, cool, and that's that. Now, you got a couple of fools out there who's no earthly good and like, you going to keep it? You got something, but that is not the majority of men, and definitely is not the majority, thank you, Stan, it's definitely not the majority of black men. So now, Vice President Harris has become desperate. Now she's come out, I was kind of shocked she's starting to do this. She's coming out calling Donald Trump a fascist, and she said he wants generals, loyal generals like Hitler had. I'm like, what? I'm like, what is going on now? Like, this is crazy. Like, she kind of, was talking about Donald Trump and all his mess, and now you have reverted to Trump. Then she recently did a town hall, and they counted. She said Donald Trump's name 100 times. Why I'm gonna mention Donald Trump's name 100 times in anything? I mean, you bigging him up. Like, you don't big up your opponent like that. You talk about what you gonna do. You can say, hey, yeah, my opponent wants to do this, but this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm proposing. You understand what I'm saying? Then there's some people that was mad at Anderson Cooper for actually questioning her behind. She needs to be questioned. She's running for the president of the United States. I didn't know we couldn't question people that want a job. That's like you going on an interview and you telling the people that could potentially hire you, oh, don't ask me that question. I'm not answering that. You know, like they were like, you ain't gonna answer this question I got for you. Don't you want the job? Yeah, but don't ask me that question. I don't want to answer that. And it's not nothing like personal or offensive. It's just asking you a question about what would you do on the job or job history, job performance, whatever in the past. And I don't want to ask that. But you want the job, though. Stan says, how is what Dems and their shields doing bullying us not voter intimidation? Well, it's not voter intimidation because they're not at the polls doing it. They're doing it on TV. They're doing it online. So it's not voter intimidation. Now, if you want to say, is it a form of election interference? But this is the thing. It's not really election interference because you can turn the TV off. You ain't got to listen to them. You can turn the channel. You don't have to watch not a CNN. You don't have to watch Fox. You don't have to watch none of that mess. Just like on YouTube, you can choose what YouTube channel you would like to watch, right? And anytime you could shut something off, you can put it on mute, whatever. The Democrat shields, all that yang they do on X and all of that mess, or the comment section. Look like here. The reason why we do members only chat here is not because of the regular people that come here. Okay? It is because the Democrat shields are acting a fool in the chat, and they was flooding the chat so much. I say, you know what? We're gonna go to members only. And the moment we did that, the comment section got back to normal because most people don't want to, be a member to troll. Alonzo says off topic, but notice the East Indians haven't said anything. Say, are they attempted to blame black people for whatever diabolical move they got planned? They gave them protection from the heat. East Indians have been extremely silent. You would think they'll be out here stomping for her and saying she's the first Indian woman, but I did a video. Let me see if I can find that video and play that for y'all. Give me a second. Let me go here. Give me a second. I gotta go to my Emancipation Media channel. I want to play this clip for y'all from an East Indian woman. Just give me a second. I gotta find that video. And she's talking about how they don't accept her like that. So let me see here. Videos. Let me see. Where's that video at? Just give me a second, y'all. I'll find it somewhere in here. I won't find it. Where is it at? That's not it. There it is. All right, let's see here. Go forward. Right there. Let me share my screen with y'all. All right. I want y'all to see what this woman says. Let me show you what this woman says. Watch this. This the deal with her community right here.
Families that disown their daughters because they were marrying black men. And let's be honest, if Kamala Harris was half Indian and half white, we would be much more excited for her candidacy. But now is not the time. Indian women need to get out there and start organizing and not leave it all to black women.
Okay, so you heard what she said, right? Let's start that over again. She just told the truth about her community. Let me rewind it.
And families that disown their daughters because they were marrying black men. And let's be honest, if Kamala Harris was half Indian and half white, we would be much more excited for her candidacy. But now is not the time. Indian women need to get out there and start organizing and not leave it all to black women.
All right, so y'all heard that. It's because she is, according to her, she's half black. Now, she said if she was half white, they'll be behind her. So her community don't support her because they claim that she black. That's what they say. We look at it and say, well, that man that say Donald Harris, like, what he got going on, right? We just don't know. Yes, I've played a video of him when he was doing like a, I think, what did he go to teaching at Stanford or something like that on the podcast? He has that patois accent and all of that, but his background is a mystery. Now, I know I've heard Candace Owens been deep diving into their background, into their family. I'm just at the point, like, I don't care. I just don't care. The fact is she's running, but her community just don't see her as one of them. And I just posted a video on the Emancipation Media channel where her aunt basically didn't come out supporting her either. And that's supposed to be her aunt, her mother's sister in India, and not supporting her. You understand what I'm saying? What? Hold on. Okay, what happened with D.L. Hughley? What did he do? What did he do? Because you mentioned D.L. Hughley. Hold on. You mentioned D.L. Hughley. You say guest is backstage. Let me see. The guest is not backstage, not whatsoever. The guest is not backstage. We're just gonna have to reschedule that. Anyway, back to what we were saying here. So Kamala just did a whole. I wouldn't want to jump in a race with that much short time anyway. If I had to jump, okay, you say what would have been a perfect time for her to jump into the presidential race? Minimum 18 months. I mean, minimum. But if she had to do it, at least a year prior. And with a year prior, she has to hit the ground running from rallies to interviews. Somebody was saying that she about to go on Club Shay Shay. That's what they say. She about to go on there. And one thing about her is like she don't bring nothing exciting when she talk. She word salad all day long. And I know people tell her, can you not do that? Because the more and more she babbles like that, the more and more she kind of exposes herself. Oh, you say you're heading to Houston tomorrow? Okay, what you going to do in Houston? Just visiting family and friends, or just hanging out? That's cool. Y'all, you're heading to Houston. Oh, I said I was gonna read something to y'all last few minutes or so. Let me Okay, let me see here. Hold on. Let me get to this thing here. So I had got a message from a person, right? Interesting message. Let me read y'all this message. I thought it kind of tickled me right before we got started on the stream. This lady, her name is Linda, actually. And Linda says, you need some diversity in your show. She's talking to me. She sent me this message. She says, always black folks with 2 question marks. Okay. She continues to say, if a white show only had whites, they'd be sued. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a white lady named Linda sent me that. She sent me that. And I'm like, first of all, I know people like yourself have a problem when you're not centered, because that's an issue for y'all. It's not an issue for me, but it's an issue for y'all. When y'all not centered in what black people are doing, you have a problem with that. Well, it's like this. Are you of African descent? Like, can you trace yourself anywhere, you know? Are you related to, you come from the freedmen? Are you part of any indigenous tribes on the African continent? You know, are you a descendant of slaves in the Caribbean? Like, you know, anything of African descent. I want to know why you want to be centered. Like y'all own all the media outlets. Y'all own them all. CNN, MSNBC, Fox, News Nation. Y'all own anything I can think of. Y'all name a few more. BBC. Y'all own the major outlets. Y'all getting billions of dollars in advertising every year. We don't get not even $1 million in advertising. I can't even say we get even $50,000 in advertising of 30,000. I can't even say that. And I'm going. And I can go down lower than that. We get no advertising. We don't have the budget. We have none of that. And yet, in the middle of all that, you could kind of say what we do is kind of mom and pop. In the midst of our black mom and pop, you want to be centered in that too. They want to be centered into that. And it's like this. Okay, let's say we had a white person come in here. I don't think you would like the white person that I bring on. I don't think you would like them in the end. Because I tell you this much, if you ever seen, all of a sudden you cut on here and there was a white person talking here, they're not going to be that average white person. I promise you that. They're going to be that white person cooking y'all every day and cooking y'all for real every day. That's all. That's that. And y'all can't stand them kind of white people. Y'all have more hatred for a white person that's cooking their own community worse than they have for a black person. I know it. I've seen it. Matter of fact, we used to have a white lady on here named Tanya. Nobody had a problem with her. She was coming on our radio show all the time. And what Tanya was doing was cooking y'all. And y'all didn't like her cooking y'all. She was talking about why they always calling the police on black people. She was talking about what their relationship is with the police. She was always breaking down every single thing that y'all do, why y'all do it, how you do it, what's the conversations behind the scenes. She was telling on y'all, and y'all didn't like it. So don't be asking me about no white people coming on here because you may not like the white person that is making a video here. Hey, Linda ain't getting me off of nothing. Linda ain't getting me off of a thing. Trust me. You know, I'm petty. I'm extremely petty. You mentioned Richard Sudan. What about Richard Sudan? Richard Sudan isn't white. I don't know why y'all saying that. He isn't white. He isn't white at all. You say, welcome to Alabama. Okay, I don't know what. Nobody care about that lady's looks. Like I said, that's not our issue in problem. Nobody care about Donald Trump's look either. We worrying about what they're gonna do in office. No, Linda wasn't in the chat. I was actually reading what Linda said to me on Facebook. Actually, that she said that to me on Facebook. But the interesting part says you need some diversity. I didn't know I needed it. That's the thing. I need diversity. I need it. I didn't know I needed that. Okay. That's cool. Now, I'm just trying to focus on what we're trying to focus on here. And I don't get a bunch of people. No, we don't get a bunch of people coming here saying, "Hey, I like to be on African Diaspora News Channel." I don't get a lot of that. I haven't. Yeah, of course she need to mind her own business. I'm with y'all. But they always staying in our business. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to get to y'all. It don't matter what we have. We can be in our own corner somewhere. I told y'all that. It don't matter where we go, what we do, they're following. We could say this is a FBA. You could say African. You could say Caribbean. You could say whatever, right? And you say, I'm only going to focus on these issues. I'm not focusing on nothing else. And they still going to be right there in the mix. Let me tell y'all something. They cannot stand not to know what we're doing and what we're saying. If we're gathering anywhere, they got to come around and say, hey, what they talking about? We don't go over there when they having their meetings, wherever that may be. We don't care. But we can't have a mom and pop anything of our own without them showing up and want to be. The thing is, it's not viewing content that you can watch all day long. But the fact is, you want to be centered in it. And that's that oppressor that's in them. Because when you're an oppressor, you feel like you have to be above everybody, right? Because you're an oppressor. And over here, you're not centered and you can't be above anybody here. You understand what I'm saying? You have to be, you're going to be equal here. And y'all can't even say equal because you're not even in a conversation like that. You're in the audience. So people like that want to see themselves because they're going to say, oh, okay, I can really watch this because it's legitimate because now I see a white man on here. Oh, I see a white woman on here. So now it's legitimate. It's a legitimate platform to me. But if I don't see them, then because you got to think about it. Anything that we create, they try to put it in a quote unquote black ghetto category. That's why I didn't want to just focus all my attention just on America, because at least if you focus your attention internationally, you kind of get away from certain constraints that's within America. Make sense? Yeah, you're right. We cannot be great at anything without them following, without them trying to get involved, without them saying, what about us? Why we can't be in the mix? Why is it only got to be for black people? Why is it got to be for the Africans? Why it got to be for the Caribbeans? Why not us? And all that. Oh, you guys are practicing reverse racism. That's what y'all think that's okay. You guys are practicing discrimination. Well, look, we want to be included. We fought for years. Think about it. Black people fought for years to be included in y'all stuff. For years. Now black people say, I'm cool with that. I understand you don't want us there. We ain't gonna beg you for nothing. We're gonna go just create our own stuff. And we're gonna go in this corner over here and do our thing with our community. And because we're not begging them anymore, we're not begging them for TV time. Think about it. If I was waiting on CNN to call me, or MSNBC, or Fox to call me, don't hold my breath on that. But creating my own platform, I don't have to call them. I don't have to wait on them, or beg them, or go to the Diddy party. You understand what I'm saying? To get put on. You're right, and you're right. The same with Black Wall Street. They went create their own. They was making money doing for self, and the whole time they hating on it. And you remember the account of that? Like, how is it that those blacks are over there they're rich and we're poor? Instead of them worrying about themselves, leave black people over there. You didn't want black folks around you. They couldn't be around you. Say, go over there to that Indian territory with that land. Y'all go do whatever y'all want to do over there. Just stay away from us white people. Okay, black people say, cool, bet. I'll go over here and we're going to work together as a community and build for ourselves. And then now they mad. That same spirit that Linda has, it's that same spirit that wanted to destroy Black Wall Street. How come we're not centered in the middle of what you're doing? It's that same spirit. The same spirit. That's why black people, we got to support the platforms that we have. Watch them, hit the like button, the app, download the app. That's something we own. Get a membership there, either monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Get a membership, and that's how we support our own. Because Linda here, she wants to come in. Look, I never know. Linda may have a membership to the app. They'll do that too. I hope y'all know that. They will give memberships to your app so they can keep an eye on what you're doing and what you're saying. So you know what? I'm not gonna say that here on YouTube. We're gonna go say that on the app, right? People like Linda will go pay for a membership to hear exactly what we're saying on that app. Oh, they dedicated to their ear hustling. They are dedicated. Timothy said, I hear pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I heard saying pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Peaches says people can't stand it. We mind our own business. Oh, they don't like that. And other groups don't like we mind our own business either. Not just the folks, the other groups. Because these other groups, they want to be in the midst of what we're saying too. That's why with the delineation movement, everybody's mad about that. Everybody's mad about delineation. It don't matter where they come from. They mad about it. Why? Because we're not going up there using that voice that we have like a roaring lion to speak for other groups. Now everybody on their own. See, at one point in time, when everybody was on the, like talking about the Springfield, the Haitian, whatever situation, at one point in time, black folks would have been all on that. Now everybody got to stand on their own 2 feet. And black folks looking at them now like, hey, good luck with that. We're praying for you. Go ahead and fight. So show us how it's done. Yeah, you say we don't pay membership in their channels. I don't. No, I don't. It's nothing they talking about for me. I mean, I see it, I read it or whatever, but it's just boring to me. I mean, I need somebody with some charisma, somebody with a gift of gab or something to talk. I can't, man, put me to sleep. Okay, the fam God says, voted today, had an older sister talk to me, don't vote for Trump. She looked so disappointed when I said, I have to, ma'am. Uh-oh. Boy, I tell you. Hey, it is your American right. You vote for whoever you want to. Just like she has her American right. If she want to vote for Harris, that's her right, and she should do it. Just like it's your right to vote for Trump. I'm not tripping on nobody who they vote for. Yeah, they are mad we stand up for our own self. Listen, the one thing they don't want us to do is, I told you, is to think for ourselves, do for self, and build for self. They don't want that. Because white supremacy won't work too well if we're doing that. It only work well we're super dependent on them. You can't be superior when people are actually building and even getting past you. Where's your superiority going to go? Beauty with Brains, appreciate it. We're taking all kind of advice and seeing what we can do to improve the show, make it better. That's definitely for sure. We got to make it better. That's things I think about all the time, because we got to constantly innovate what we're doing, and we're gonna do that. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, 5 minutes over. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight. Really appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. That's very, very important. And thank y'all for listening. We'll go ahead on and see y'all on the next one. Make sure you go check out the Phil Scott podcast. I'm going to be talking about your favorite president. She had an interview on Univision, and I think Univision or Telemundo, one or two. And we're going to talk about what their reporter asked her, but that'll be at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time.